Hello everyone, Miss Gretchen with Rubies and Moonstones. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, I hope that you like it here and will consider subscribing. And if you are returning, welcome back and thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot to me and I value each and every one of you. So today is my second official WIP Chat, and it's been a long time coming. So if you happen to watch my first one, I talked about how I really am struggling to know what to talk about, and I am still struggling with that, but I thought it was about time that we give it a go. And being that I just mentioned my current subscribers and wanting to thank everyone, I need to mention that I want to mention that I have hit over 100 subscribers now. And so thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel. And that is why when I say that I value each and every one of you, I really, really mean that, because if I did not have people continuing to subscribe, even though I know there are other people out here with thousands of subscribers, having 100 means so much to me. And I am truly, truly appreciative for each and every one of you that has subscribed already, and for any of you who will be subscribing in the future. In order to show my gratitude, I would like to do a small giveaway for hitting that 100 subscriber milestone, because it is a big milestone for me. I really never anticipated having that many subscribers. So I am going to do a giveaway, and I have decided to do a $20 gift card to Diamond Art Club, and then that way I can just email that to the winner, and not have to worry about there being any issues with shipping or anything like that. So how I am going to do that is later on in this video I will announce a code word to be used in a sentence in the comment section. And so in order to be eligible, you will need to use the code word in a sentence in the comment section, and to also be a subscriber, of course, and to be sure to like the video as well. So please continue to stay tuned and listen for that code word when I give it. I'm going to be trying to think of something incredibly random to use for that. So yeah, thank you everyone for helping me reach that first really big milestone. I am so thankful. So thankful. So I want to make sure that I show you that gratitude. And I really do struggle to not edit these videos. I do not like it when I stumble over my words. I do not like it when I have brain fogs and struggle to come up with words. I know that there are certain times where I will literally need to pause and think for a few seconds. And so I will do my best to keep this as realistic as possible, as conversational as possible. But if I have one of those moments where my brain is just not working, and I need to pause for a few seconds to think of what I was trying to say, I might edit that out. So if you do see a few edits, that's probably why. So yeah, otherwise I will try and be very light on the editing, which will also make it easier for me to get this posted sooner rather than later. And then I will announce the winner of the giveaway in another video. Let's see, it is March 15th. So assuming that I get this put up over the weekend, I'll give until April 1st or so for people to, so at least until April 1st will be my cutoff for people to be able to comment and be included in the drawing for the gift card. And then I will do a separate video to show who the winner of the gift card is. And so you'll want to make sure that you watch that as well, so that if you are the person who wins, you can reach out to me and make sure that I get your email address and I can give you the gift card. So yeah, so thank you so much for helping me get to this point so that I can do a giveaway and be so thankful for having all of you here. So I really jumped right into the conversation about the subscribers and the giveaways. I did want to point out that, you know, this is my second WIP Chat, and WIP stands for Work in Progress. So this is my current diamond painting. That is my work in progress. And you are welcome to grab your own project that you are working on and work alongside me while I talk. Or you can listen to the conversation in a podcast type format, and join me that way. So whatever is most convenient and whatever you feel like doing, please feel free to join in whatever way you choose. So yeah, I am working on another bird by Richard Lorenz. This is Gladys, My Kind of Crazy, as is written in black over here. Honestly, I think I'm going to color that in. There was also a strange white line over this wing that I didn't really like, and so I colored that in. And I really wanted to do some enhancements, and I feel like I found the colors that would have been good to use enhancements for, but I didn't get them in time, and I tried to use what I already had in my stash for certain areas, and then I just ended up not trusting my own judgment and decided to just continue working on it and using the original DAC rendering. I mean, they do such a great job with their renderings anyway, so I just left it at that. But the last bird that I did, Purnell, I love Richard Lorenz's birds, so I have quite a few of them to do. You might see me working on a lot of them. Purnell is the only other one that I've gotten finished, so this is my second Lorenz bird. But the Purnell kit had a DP with Sparklers enhancement kit, and I did use that. And I used most of the suggestions that they provided, but I did not use all of them. But I really like how it turned out, and I kind of wish that there was an enhancement kit for all of the birds, because then when they're all hanging on my wall, there would be a little bit more cohesion. You know, they would all just go together a bit better if they all had a bit more enhancements, especially with like those crystal drills that they have, because that's what really I feel makes the Purnell one pop. He has these crystals in the wings, and I really liked that. But I'm still really happy with how Gladys is turning out, and she's really coming together rather quickly also. I do try and spend any spare moment that I have diamond painting. I know that there's a million other things that I need to do in my life, but gosh, I just enjoy doing this so much, and I find it so relaxing, and it is what I am passionate about at the moment. So if I have a free moment, this is what I am doing. And I know that there are so many other things that even diamond painting related that I need to be doing. But again, if I have the time, I want to be laying down drills. So for example, I really need to frame in some way a few pieces. I have removed the ink on the edges of one small canvas. And I have painted black the edges of another one, and I need to paint black the edges of another one. And then I just got some of those magnetic bars that go across the bottom and the top that hang pictures that way or posters that way. And that's what I'm going to use for a couple of them that I'm actually going to display. But I would still like to do something with the edges so that you can't see the legends or the schematics. So I don't know, I'll probably try and remove the ink in those sections as well. And I was surprised at how easy that actually was. I, just Googled it and watched a couple of YouTube videos, and I had heard to use nail polish remover to take off the ink on the edges, but I actually ended up just using isopropyl alcohol because that's what I had on hand, and it isn't as stinky as nail polish remover. I am not someone who paints my nails. I feel like I have nail polish remover somewhere. But since we moved last summer, I still have not gone through every single box, so I don't know exactly where that nail polish remover is. But I did have some isopropyl alcohol that I use for my staticky drills, so I used that, and it really came off pretty well and quickly. So, yeah, so I am happy with the one that I did, and I need to do that with a couple more paintings. But yeah, like I said, when I have time, that's not how I want to spend my time. I want to spend my time laying down drills and actually making my painting a painting. And I'm not going to display every single diamond painting that I do, but there are certain ones that I am going to want to display, especially for like my daughter. She's got some that she wants me to put in her room, and the one for my son, and then all of these birds. I do want to have a wall. I'm thinking of putting them all on my stairwell. I've seen some pictures of some other diamond painters who are Lorenz fans, and they have them in their stairwell, and I think that that looks really cool. So that's kind of my idea, is to put them in my stairwell. And up until this point, I honestly haven't had that many pictures or paintings or anything like that to take up my wall space. So I have plenty of wall space available for these diamond paintings. So not that I want every single wall that I have to be covered in diamond paintings, but wouldn't hurt to have a few of them up. So the birds, and then whatever my daughter gets excited about. And of course I need to make a few for my son. So until he gets to the point where he can say he wants one in his room, I'll probably put a couple in there just for fun, and then he can start telling me what he does or does not want in his room. yeah, so let's see what else. Oops. One of my least favorite things to do when diamond painting is picking out the bad drills. Just pick, 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 pick. I mean, in the long run, it makes it go faster and it makes my drills look nicer, and maybe I am a bit more picky than others, but you know, when it comes to a square diamond painting, I really want my drills to line up nicely next to each other. So I do take a decent amount of time to pick through my drills. Which reminds me that there's this one piece that is technically a work in progress, but I have not been working on it. The Astronomer. I kitted it up because there was a paint along in January and February. And so I'd always really loved the piece, and you know, it finally got me to buy it, and there was a diamond painting or a DP with sparklers enhancement kit and all of that good stuff. And so I finally bought the kit, the enhancement kit, but I was really disappointed with the drill quality, especially with the most heavily used colors that were in there, like number 3371 is incredibly 3371 is the most heavily used color on that canvas by far. I mean, I had a baggie, I'm not kidding, the size of this cover sheet full of those drills, because I had it kitted up. I have it kitted up in one of those containers that just has the vials on it. And I mean, that's a lot of drills. And when I shook out my first tray, I'm not kidding that at least half, if not more, of those drills were of an incredibly poor quality. So I put it down and I reached out to Diamond Art Club and was like, hey, this is not the quality that I was expecting. This was an expensive piece. Is there anything that can be done about it? And so they sent me replacements, and since I was contacting them, I checked all of the other colors that were used a lot. So any of them that I had enough drills of that I had to have a separate baggie for. So if they all fit into one vial, I didn't even check those because that doesn't bother me. If it's just one vial full that needs to be sorted through. But when there are so many that need to be gone through, you know, very heavily used colors on the canvas, that's what was bothering me. So Diamond Art Club did send me back some replacements, and I was very grateful that they did so. By the time that I got them, of course, I had started a different painting, and concentrating. So I just kind of set the Astronomer to the side for a little while until I finished the painting that I was working on, and then I was going to pick it back up and work on it. And so by the time I did that and I got all of the new drills out of their little baggies, and had a chance to try them, they were not of a better quality. So I reached out to Diamond Art Club again, and they said they already sent me replacement drills and they were not going to send me anymore. I do sort of understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, when you're working with a square kit and the drills do not line up, then the entire piece just doesn't line up and it doesn't work. And so having to sit and pick and pick and pick and pick through your drills just takes all of the fun out of everything, in my opinion. So I'm trying to decide what to do right now. I hate to throw it away because I have invested a decent amount of money into it by, for one, purchasing the kit, and for two, purchasing the enhancement kit. So I don't know. I might try and work on it and do another row. I've got one row going across one end so far, and that's it. But so I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another chance and see how it goes. But I just don't want to spend the vast majority of my time picking out poor drills. So I don't know if anybody else has had a similar experience, but that was my recent experience. And I was disappointed in the response that I got. And the fact that, like, I actually emailed them and they didn't even respond. When I emailed them a second time, they're usually so fast to email responses, but they didn't respond at all that second time, and I had to email them again before they would respond and say, nope, we're not going to do anything about this. So I still do really like Diamond Art Club. So far, they're the company that their kits and their designs is what I just connect with the most. I keep looking for other companies to try and get kits from, and I just don't really connect with the designs like I do the ones from Diamond Art Club. So I'm not trying to just be someone that only buys from Diamond Art Club. I would really like to buy from some other companies, but yeah, I just haven't found designs for artists that I am excited about yet to purchase from a different company. I'm going to keep looking because I really do want to support small businesses and things like that. And so hopefully I'll come across some here in the future and be able to get some. I also just have invested enough at this point that unless it's something that I really love and I really need to have, I would say that I'm on a low buy right now. I don't want to put myself on a no buy, but I'm on a low buy. So unless there's something that I absolutely have to have, like another Richard Lorenz bird or something like that, I'm trying not to make purchases. So I have plenty to work on it at this time anyway. Another thing, I guess, is that this is the first kit that I am using the Elizabeth Ward container system, and I am trying to decide how I like it. You know, I hear people, other content creators, talk about how much they love their Elizabeth Ward systems all the time. And so there was a sale from Francesca's Studio Works in January, like an organizational sale or something like that, for it being a new year, I think. And so it was a buy one, get one. I thought that was a pretty good deal. And they're a new company, so I thought I would give it a try. So I went ahead and got my first Elizabeth Ward containers, and then I got a special Elizabeth Ward funnel. Mine is actually, I've seen a few other content creators use special funnels for their Elizabeth Ward containers, and I guess theirs looked a lot bigger in the videos, but sometimes I think things are just skewed a bit on camera, so maybe theirs aren't actually bigger than mine, but maybe they are. Maybe we bought from different small shops. I don't know. Let's see if I can find it. So the box says Zodiac Shadows. Can't remember if that's the name of the company. It must be. And so this is the funnel that I got. And I was actually surprised because when I put it on, well, there, that one fit. But a lot of times I couldn't get it to go all the way down. And maybe I just needed to bend this back more because, or maybe this is a lucky container. I don't know. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I must not have been doing it right the first time because now it's working. But I still had a hard time because this area is relatively small, so when I had those big bags, I had to be really careful when I poured in for them to not go everywhere. I seem to have better luck when I use the vial system and this type of a funnel than that big bag. I can just really shake into the big funnel and it seems to work better, which I suppose I could use that with these as well, but I don't know. So I'm trying to decide if I like them. The stickers keep popping off and I keep having to push them back down. I really don't want to have to put tape over them. My fingers kind of hurt from how tight these are, but I mean, it's a good thing that they are tight and hard to pull off, I guess. So what kind of container system do you use? Do you use the Elizabeth Wards? Do you use the vials? Do you use something else? I don't know. I almost forgot what color I was working on. Good thing I had my jar out to show me. Which, I'll leave it there. I'm going to get a different color. So while I am getting out a different color, how do you pick your next diamond painting that you're going to work on? Assuming that you have a stash, you know, of at least 5 or more kits. I don't know. This last time I literally let my daughter choose everything for me. I put together a list of some images that I had that I thought she would really enjoy, and I showed her those images, and she scrolled through and picked out what she wanted. So I did Rapunzel by Mandy Manzano for her, and it turned out really nice. And then I also made a smaller list of a few pieces that I was a bit more keen to work on than others. And I was actually going to have my husband help me pick, but my daughter insisted on helping me pick that one too, and she picked Gladys. So that is how I have ended up working on Gladys, which is fine because I didn't really have a strong preference on which diamond painting I was going to work on next. So the fact that she was willing to help me choose was great. So, and it's a way to have her be involved in the process too. So I love that. Of course, I did Rapunzel for her first, and she was so excited. And that's one of them where I actually think it will look nice to paint the edges black. So I am still waiting to paint those edges black before I actually hang it up in her room, but it's at least done, and she's excited about it. And then now I'm trying to decide, since I'm so close to being done with Gladys, what I'm going to do next. And like I said earlier, I don't want to paint the edges. I don't want to work on hanging. I want to figure out a way to like stretch the canvas. I think that would look really cool, especially for ones like the Richard Lorenz birds that I want to hang in my hall. But so far where I found those stretched canvas bars, they seemed really expensive. So I haven't done that yet. And I also don't particularly enjoy the kitting down process and the having to organize all of my drills, because I am saving my drills. I have a storage system. It's not a shoebox. It's something that I bought off of Etsy, actually, where they have like a nice photo box, and then she creates the cards herself and puts them together with nice labels and everything. And it's a really nice system, actually. So, but I just, kitting down is not my favorite thing to do, but it's a necessary part of the process. And then I'm disappointed because last time I went through and tried to catalog like what I already had in my box and what I needed to, what I was going to add to the box so that it could have a list of all of the different colors and have check marks next to them if I had brown drills in that color or square drills in that color, or ABs or crystals from DP with sparklers in that color, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And then I wanted to change the format of the page that I was working on so that it would just work better. And I lost the original where I started to keep track of everything. So now this next time that I dekit, I have to go back through every single color and track it again. But I at least have a Excel sheet version that will make it easier to track this next time. So, and I have a nice little notebook that I use for my, what do you call it? Your logbook. I ended up creating my own logbook, and I plan to do a quarterly video of the diamond paintings that I've completed, because I just don't have enough time to get hardly 1 or 2 paintings done each month. So that would be a really short video if I did a video of my completions for January and February. So here at the end of March, well, once we actually get into April, so I see what I am able to complete in March, I will do another video where I show my completions for the first quarter of the year. So yeah, that's something that I plan on doing, and am looking forward to doing that also. I am not a pro at multi-placing by any means, but I am sure trying. So this is technically the 10 placer, and I'm really started to try to use it here on this kit, especially because there's all this white space around the edges, and I've heard people say that like you shouldn't multi-place light colors because it makes those black lines a lot easier to see if it's not lined up perfectly, and so you should single place or do the checkerboard method. But I always do the checkerboard method on my edges, and even on the edges where I am trying to be incredibly careful, I still see errors and slight imperfections. Nothing that is super significant, but I just don't see a big difference between where I take the time to single place in the checkerboard pattern versus laying down 10 or 11 or 12 sometimes. I think in this case it was actually 12 with the multi-placer, and then, you know, going back and maybe straightening it up a little bit. I don't see a big difference. I have seen some suggestions of like going back over those light areas with mica powder, I believe, to help fill in the gaps and kind of hide those black lines. So I might look up those videos again and try to do that on the white edges of this piece. So but I'm getting better with the 10 placer. I'm really comfortable with the 4, well, the 2, 3, 4, and now 7. And then I also have an 8 placer, and I'm getting pretty comfortable with that as well. So I thought it was time to start challenging myself to the 10 placer. And you can see me going in and fixing probably every single time that I actually lay down with a 10 placer. But I figure if you do not practice, you're never going to get any better. And, you know, when I first used that 8 placer, I was really uncomfortable with it. But now over time, I feel like I am a lot better with it, and also able to more easily maneuver it to do all sorts of different drill amounts, as opposed to having to switch between different sized tips. So, which I don't do that very often. Lots of times if I'm like using the 7 placer, then I will use it for placing anywhere from 2 to 8 drills, because the 7 placer does pick up 8 square drills. But if I have places like this where there are just 2 drills that need to get laid down, and especially if I have a lot of them like I do right now, then I will pick up my pen that has just the 2 placer on it and use that to lay down those drills. I just find it to be easier, and especially if there's a bunch of other drills laying around it, it can be easier to squeeze in a couple of drills with just having the 2 placer versus having to angle a larger placer. So that's one of the reasons I do that. So I think that it has been a decent amount of time, and I think it's time to have that code word. So for the code word for the 100 subscriber milestone giveaway, let's use the word butterfly. It's almost spring. And there is a butterfly in this painting, so I guess that's what it made me think of. So please write something in the comment section that has the word butterfly in it. Whether you like butterflies or maybe you don't. Isn't it on The Big Bang Theory where Sheldon Cooper doesn't like butterflies or something like that? I think it's that show. But yeah, so leave a complete sentence that has the word butterfly in it. It can't just be the word butterfly, it has to be an entire sentence. And then make sure that you are a subscriber so that I can see that and like the video, and then you will be entered to win the gift card, the $20 gift card from Diamond Art Club. So, yeah, there we go. I'm also really excited because I am going to be getting a new diamond painting setup system very soon. Right now I primarily work on my dining room table, and the kids' bedrooms are right next to my workspace. So if they're sleeping, and a lot of times the time that I am able to work is when they are sleeping, so I can't make a video at that time because I can't be talking or they'll hear me and I'll wake them up. And I also would just kind of like to have the dining room table back for plenty of other uses that people use their dining room area for. So yeah, so I finally got a drafting table. It was recently my birthday, and I talked to my husband about it and said how I really wanted one, and that it was to help get me out of the dining room and to help get us all downstairs more. So we agreed to me ordering the drafting table that I wanted, and then as a birthday present, he is to put it together for me. So at this point, my birthday has passed, and the drafting table has been sitting in our entryway for a while. But in all reality, we do have a lot going on, and by the time we get off work and then we get the kids, and you know, it's a whole thing. By the time everybody goes down to bed, then, I mean, I'm done for the night. My husband usually stays up later. He likes to hang out later at night, and whereas my alone time is in the morning, and then his is at night when the kids go to bed. But that just doesn't leave a lot of free time to be able to put the drafting table together. So, but I am super, super excited for when that does get set up. I think that it will make filming a lot easier. You know, I work on an easel, and you can probably tell that I'm using a light pad. So having the drafting table down there where I can adjust the tilt, I think that that will be really helpful, especially for filming purposes, and that's what I'm hoping that it's going to make it easier to film videos and make it easier for you guys to actually see what I'm doing from hopefully more of an upward angle as opposed to a sideways angle, and then maybe my head will be less likely to sneak into frame every once in a while. I don't know if you've watched my Nefertiti series, but there have been a few times where I set up my camera and I think that I have it set up in a good way, and then when I'm reviewing the footage, I see my head pop into view, and I don't know. It's not a huge deal. It's just that's not what the video is supposed to be about, and it's always just one of those really awkward angles anyway, where it's like the top of my head or the side of my head. It's, I don't know. So yeah, so I'm excited to have that drafting table and to get that set up going. I think that it'll make things a lot easier. And I'm also excited to finish my Nefertiti series. I am almost done with that. I'm hoping, I don't know, I wish I could get more feedback. I am so excited about the amount of subscribers that I have. I know that a lot of people don't watch videos all the way through. And so for those of you who do, I am incredibly thankful. But it would be really helpful to me to get some feedback on what my subscribers and people who enjoy watching the videos that I make would like to see, so that I can continue to make that content and make the content that you actually want to watch. So like for my Nefertiti series, because of the way that my camera and computer system has currently been set up, it has been very difficult for me to store videos that are very long on my phone, long enough for me to be able to edit them and get them uploaded onto YouTube. So that's one of the reasons why I needed to make my Nefertiti time-lapse video into a series so that I could get some completed and then be able to post a video, and then be able to complete some more so that I had that storage space on my phone. I believe that I should have a solution now to where I could potentially store all of the time-lapse videos until I have completely completed an entire painting, but I don't know. I'm assuming that that would be preferable for people to be able to see the entire time lapse in just one video versus, you know, 2 or 3 videos, and depending on the painting size, multiple videos. But maybe people actually like the fact that there are, you know, just a couple of really short videos where you get to see time lapse, but not incredibly fast time lapse of a piece coming together. And so I don't know, but if you think that it would be better for me to do all of my time lapses in just one video, I would appreciate and value your feedback. If you like being able to just see part of the time lapse and then get to see more of it at a later time, the way that I have been doing my Nefertiti series, I would appreciate that feedback as well, just so that I know what people are liking, and then that way I can try and do that more and more in the future. And so now I'm almost done with Gladys. I cannot believe that I am this far along on her already. So I am needing to pick out what my next painting is going to be for me. And then if I'm going to make one, usually what I do is I pick one out that's going to be for my daughter and one that's for me. And then one that's for my son, and then one that's for me. And then go back and forth like that. So if I do that again this time, then the next one would be for my son, and one for me. But I'm also thinking of using the decision wheel. Oh, who is it that does that? Because I got that idea from another YouTube creator who is very popular, and she's one of the first ones that I started watching. Is it all I can think of is @kids417. I'll try and put the correction in, insert that into the video. Something for zest. I think that she's the one who does the decision wheel, and I sure think that that's a lot of fun. So I am thinking of using the decision wheel to help me decide what to do next for my next diamond painting, as well as what I'm going to do for my next time-lapse series. Because I just feel like there are certain videos that are going to be better for a time-lapse video than for others. I feel like the Mandy Manzano Nefertiti was a really cool one to do in time-lapse format. And I think that is mostly because of those black lines from her stained glass look that she does. And when I think about, you know, how, especially when you have a very confetti heavy piece that you really need to section off, I'm not sure how entertaining those videos may be if I were to do a time lapse of a piece that requires sectioning off with washi tape and doing just one square at a time. But I know there's another creator out there who does some time-lapse videos as well, and does it in that format, and I enjoy watching those, so maybe it would be okay to do. I just really like doing the time-lapse, and part of it is just because it's going to be fun for me to be able to look back on these videos later in life and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that. It's kind of like keeping a diary, I guess, in a way. I guess that's maybe what a blog is. So, but I really enjoyed watching the Nefertiti series come together. And I hope that you have had the opportunity to watch it and have enjoyed watching it come together as well too. And so I think it would be more fun to watch more of my pieces come together, but at the same time, I don't want to be filming every single diamond painting that I'm working on, you know. There are just certain times of the day that it works better to film things like that than others. And yeah, So so I like to have something else going on at the same time so that I can film on my time lapse and then I can work on something else when I don't want to be filming. So yeah, so I will probably do something similar to that as well. I also want to make a video showing you my setup that I currently have using this easel system. So before I totally get moved into my drafting table, and I'm planning on recreating some of the methods that I use here on my drafting table, but you know, I really need to get it set up and see the size of it and how it all works and everything before I can officially figure out which methods that I currently use can be transferred over to the drafting table, which ones need to be transferred over to the drafting table, and which ones don't. So I'm sorry that it's taken so long for me to get another WIP Chat completed. It is really hard to find quiet time when you have two little kids to just sit down and diamond paint and talk and record without interruption. So I know in my first video I mentioned that I work in education, and so we had our parent-teacher conferences this past week, and so because we all had to stay extra late for a couple of days, then they give us 1 day of the week off, and this is that day off, and we went ahead and sent the kids to preschool and daycare so that I could just have a nice relaxing day to myself at home, just taking care of me and kind of having a mental health day for me, which, as it turns out, is diamond painting. I did do a few other things, but not as much cleaning and things like that I'm sure my mom thinks that I should probably be doing, but instead of diamond painting. But, you know, it's so exhausting to work all day and to work long days. We're getting up early and staying up relatively late, working all day and then coming home and having to take care of your two very young kids who, you know, need everything done for them. And by the time they go to bed, I crash. So it has been having just a day, just this one day to myself where I literally had nothing else on my schedule has been incredibly amazing, and I am so grateful. Not that I don't appreciate it when I have some alone time with my kids, because I definitely do enjoy that time as well. Like in the summer, I will have them go to preschool and daycare like part-time so that I get more time with them in the summer, but then they still have that regular work time or social time, I should say, with their peers. And it also gives me a few days out of the week to get things done as well. So, but it's been great to just have a day to, yeah, work on me, just be me. I'm getting really close to running out of this color. Doesn't usually happen, but getting a little too close for comfort here. I was actually planning on going into a few of my first paranormal stories with you in this video, but at this point, I feel like this has been a long enough of a WIP chat, just kind of talking about different diamond painting stuff that I have going on in my life for the most part, and thanking you all for your support and stuff. So I'll save those paranormal stories for next time, and or maybe some of my favorite unknown historical real life stories that we have out there too. But I have some really good paranormal stories, and I do try to be very what's the word? I do try to be very careful and investigate and try and debunk any possible reason why something strange may have happened before I will say that something was a paranormal experience. So when I share my stories, if there is something that happened that is worth sharing a story about, but I have to say maybe it could have been this, I will let you know. But most of the ones that I do have stories to share about, I do not have a logical explanation for the reason that things have happened at all, especially when it comes to the house that we just moved out of. There was some really strange stuff going on there, but in order to keep things straight, I figured I would start with the stories from the early days of my life, and then move on to the more recent ones. So, but luckily we haven't had anything significant since moving here. So, all right, I think we'll leave it there for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this video, please put a bird emoji in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like. If you'd like to see more of my content as I create it, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified anytime that I do upload a new video. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everybody.